Yay! Yeah, I'm supposed to be this.
Yeah. Yes. So welcome, everyone. Welcome.
Check it out once again. It's your boy Cash Freedom coming at you live from the six. You know what this is. I'm out here, got King Nico on my left, but fuck the left.
And we're live as always. First live in 2022 from the Crusaders of the Resistance headquarters, and we have the Pomeranian Resistance keeping guard, keeping us safe.
Oh shit!
I gotta
having a tea time with Mr. Freedom as well.
So yeah, conspiracy tea time with the Resistance. So we're gonna crusade as usual back into the past because that's where all the answers and the secrets are, and where all the hiding and covering up of Bible prophecy began. So we're going to quickly say hi to everyone as we begin this Flat Earth series. So yeah, Hannah Lily, the title's got you very intrigued. And yeah, lots of hard work's been put into this. Actually, I've been doing this for like 4 or 5 years now. And so have a lot of other flat earthers, the works out there. I'm not sure if you could still find a lot of it on YouTube now because of the censorship, but you can probably find it on BitChute. So there's the likes of Eric Dubai, Mark Sargent, Rob Skiba, who passed away last year. So again, we're going to revisit everything, tying everything to the Bible, of course, and everything else we've looked at. So Tartaria, thank you, Makash. He's got his own personal Bible with him.
All gold, everything.
And the fallen angels, enemy number 1. So thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Lacey. Welcome. Hi, good evening, everyone. Yes. So IU is very excited. We're finally on to Flat Earth. Andrew Eastman. Commander Eastman is in the house. Susie Rachel. Yeah, we're all here. We're going to go through some stuff. So the title of the video is The Missing Diary of Richard E. Byrd. So we're going to look who this character is, because for some reason, it all starts with him in our modern day generation. So this is the character. Yes, hello, Crusaders. Thank you, Laura. Stacy D is here. Raging River. Finally, yes, Kyle Mullins. Christina. Hello, T. Birmingham. Yes, of course. As in the days of Noah, we're here. We're in the final hour. We are in Revelations.
We're in the end game now.
So yeah, what do you think you're in the end game, Makash?
We're definitely in the end game, and it's just about to happen within our lifetime. Like bigger shit that's already happening right now, basically.
So yeah, I can't believe we went through 2020, 2021, and now we're here in 2022. First week already done. So there's only 51 weeks left of 2022. And it looks like a bit of the same old, more corruption, more evil, more definitely clear-sighted that we're in the devil's playground. Yeah, rest in peace to Rob Skiba. Did a lot of great work for the Flat Earth. Okay, so we're going to get into it. Sorry if I missed all your highs. Chanel Brown is here. Love everyone here. Thank you for being here on time, everyone. Thank you, Butterfly. Okay, so I want to bring up the screen again. So we're going to look at this character, Richard E. Byrd. So he is an admiral. And look at his birthday. So he was born October 25th, 1888. So there's your triple eights.
One day after Drake's birthday.
October 25th. So October, we all know, equals 666. So there's your month of October. And look at his date of death, March 11th. March 11th is the day that the pandemic was announced worldwide. So his date of death was March 11th, 1957. And that's a very special time for the cover-up of the world and the return to Babylon and amping up for the New World Order. So we're going to look at all the dates surrounding 1957, 1958, 1959, right?
Those are my times.
So Richard E. Byrd, excuse me, my poor throat.
Don't smoke, kids.
So look, E, so the E in his middle name is actually stands for Evelyn. So Evelyn is actually a woman's name. So you got this person, Richard Evelyn Byrd, right? So again, the middle name is questionable because it's a woman's name for a man, and there's your Eve. So, like I said, tying it all to the Bible and the Garden of Eden, because this is where we're going to be going on a journey to Eden. And look at his name. He has the Eve in his name. So you see the 888s. There's his date of death, which is the pandemic birth date. So here's his born, died, place of burial. He served in the Navy. His rank is Rear Admiral. So, excuse me. So hold on quickly. I have Princess Coco here wants to say hello. I know Daddy hasn't been on in a long time. We're talking about the Earth, but you already know what it is. So here's Princess Coco.
Hey, where's my
The Pomeranian Resistance. So yeah,
Prince?
control her, please. We're going to get back to it. J7. Hi, J7. I love you. Shalom, David. Welcome back. So we're getting into it. Let me put it back up on the screen. So his rank is a Rear Admiral. Very established. Congressional Gold Medal. There's his family, his ancestry. So I want to go to so yeah, here we go. Coco, please. So Coco's being bad right now. But that's what it's expected with a live show. So here's his memberships. So it's under memberships on the Wikipedia, and it says Byrd was an active Freemason. He was raised, became a Master Mason in Federal Lodge Number 1, Washington, D.C. on March 19th, 1921, and affiliated with the Kane Lodge 454, New York City, September. So yeah, he was a Master Mason, 33rd degree. Okay, so this is why so this is why this character, Richard E. Byrd, Evelyn, Eve, was chosen to do this expedition, because he was a 33rd degree Master Mason, and he was born into it in Lodge Number 1. So he's the guy, or woman, because we don't know exactly the sex, but they portray him as a he, right? So we're going to see what Eve got involved in. So let's look at some Gematria codes, actually. So, because we always got to bring up the Gematria, so I'm going to remove that.
If you're wondering why I'm too quiet, I'm also doing a lot of learning here too. And yeah, I'm just starting to get into more Bible studies lately for the past month. So cut me some slack here.
Yeah. Okay, let me move that. Sorry, I'm adding. So I'm sharing the screen.
You limited who can comment on your.
No, I didn't. I didn't limit anything.
On the Facebook live stream? Or no?
Okay, so you can see I got some numbers up on the screen. So in reverse satanic, I know his first name's not there, but I just put in Richard Eve Byrd equals 726. Yeah, Richard Eve Byrd. So I shortened the middle name to Eve, and it equals 726. So there's his rank. Rear Admiral Evelyn Byrd equals 666. Rear Admiral Richard Evelyn Byrd II, because his father was also named Richard Evelyn Byrd the first. And look at that, equals 311. March 11th, the date of his death. So his full rank and name, including title and everything, is 311. And Rear Admiral Richard Evelyn Byrd Jr. equals 1926. In the English Sumerian, which we use a lot, it's the alphabetical order times by 6. So there's his rank, his full name, and junior, because his father had the same name. So And it also shows that on the Wikipedia as junior. So 1926. 1926 is when this happened and took place. As you saw, his name equals his death date and the date, the year that this took place. So we're going to go into 1926. Let me see the comments quickly.
1926.
So Tasha Case is ready to learn. Yeah, so he was chosen to lead the expedition to go to be the first person to go to the North Pole, right? Welcome, Katie Johnson. She's already a flat earther. Welcome. Help our brothers and sisters here see the light so we can save them from the coming deception. It is inevitable. The amount of conditioning that has been going on Earth right now, the news, the media, the newspapers, the video games, the cartoons, the movies, it's all used. Music too. You've seen the music videos with the aliens and the UFOs. The Weeknd just came out with an album today. Yeah. I don't even need to listen to it because it's past
my Bible studies. I realized that it says something about Satan being like the angel of music or something, and I'm thinking, no wonder all these hit songs and the whole music industry is so satanic as well.
Exactly.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get back into some Admiral Byrd. So he was a Mason. There you go. So we're going to get back to his name and when this expedition took place. So as you can see, it does show junior, the JR there. So I put that in and it equals 1926. So this picture of him was taken in 1928. Went through all the world wars and everything. So we're going to start something here.
Pole and Vice Admiral Richard E. Byrd's accounts. Rear Admiral Richard Evelyn Byrd Jr. was an American naval officer who specialized in feats of exploration. He was a recipient of the Medal of Honor, the highest honor for valor given by the United States, and was a pioneering American aviator, polar explorer, and organizer of polar logistics. On May 9, 1926, Admiral Byrd took off from the Norwegian Arctic island of Spitzenberg along with his pilot Floyd Bennett in an attempt to be the first to fly to the North Pole. About 16 hours later, the pair returned to the island in their Fokker trimotor airplane, the Josephine Ford, saying that they had indeed accomplished the feat. Byrd submitted his navigational records to the U.S. Navy and a committee of the National Geographic Society, one of his sponsors, who confirmed the accomplishment according to the Ohio State University libraries. Byrd was hailed as a hero and given the Medal of Honor. However, for some unknown reason, Admiral Byrd's official accounts of his journey were not long after disproved and even denied as inconclusive. When you learn of what Admiral Byrd claims to have found and experienced on his Arctic North Polar journey, it becomes clear why the official channels of society may have quickly decided to dismiss his claims. However, we must take into consideration the fact that Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd was a well-respected member of society and highly decorated member of the U.S. Navy. The following is a reading of the official transcripts of Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd's flight logs recording during and shortly after his pioneering journey deep into the unknown regions of the Arctic North Pole on the 19th of February, 1947. 0600 hours. All preparations are complete for our flight northward, and we are airborne with full fuel tanks at 0610 hours. 0620 hours. Fuel mixture on starboard engine seems too rich. Adjustment made and Pratt Whitneys are running smoothly. 0730 hours. Radio check with base camp. All is well and radio reception is normal. 0740 hours. Note slight oil leak in starboard engine. Oil pressure indicator seems normal, however. 0800 hours. Slight turbulence noted from easterly direction at an altitude of 2,321 feet. Correction to 1,700 feet. No further turbulence, but tailwind increases. Slight adjustment in throttle controls. Aircraft performing very well now.
So we're going into his diary. So it was missing. No one got the true accord of what happened on the expedition to the North Pole. So it was finally released And this is what we're going through. And it was all logged, as you can see, 640 hours, 700 hours, 800 hours. It's not going to be long, but once you see, because they had an army base like close to the North Pole, so they took off like right from there, and then he returned, right? So you got to take this in, and then I'm going to I've already gone through this. I'm going to tell you what is true and what is not true, what's a cover up and what's more psychological operation. Just as we went through with Tartaria, was it real? Was it fake? Is it just another fake conspiracy to hide real truth? Which it is. There was no mud flood. There is no Tartarians. It's just a cover up to hide the fallen angel world that got flooded. So it's Bible prophecy. So we're going to go back into this. Admiral Byrd's logged missing diary, and we're following through it right now.
Zero 08:15 hours. Radio check with base camp. Situation normal. 08:30 hours. Turbulence encountered again. Increase altitude to 2,900 feet. Smooth flight conditions again. 09:10 hours. Vast ice and snow below. Note coloration of a yellowish nature and disperse in a linear pattern. Altering course for better examination of this color pattern below. Note reddish or purple color also. Circle this area 2 full turns and return to assigned compass heading. Position check made again to base camp and relay information concerning colorations in the ice and snow below. 09:10 hours. Both magnetic and gyro compasses beginning to gyrate and wobble. We are unable to hold our heading by instrumentation. Take bearing with sun compass, yet all seems well. The controls are seemingly slow to respond and have sluggish quality, but there is no indication of icing. 09:15 hours. In the distance is what appears to be mountains. 09:49 hours. 29 minutes elapsed flight time from the first sighting of the mountains. It is no illusion. They are mountains and are consisting of a small range that I have never seen before. 09:55 hours. Altitude changed to 2,950 feet, encountering strong turbulence again. 10:00 hours. We are crossing over the small mountain range and still proceeding northward as best as can be ascertained. Beyond the mountain range is what appears to be a valley with a small river or stream running through the center portion. There should be no green valley below. Something is definitely wrong and abnormal here. We should be over ice and snow. To the port side are great forests growing on the mountain slopes.
Wow. So there you go. 1,000 hours. He saw the mountains, and as he got closer, this is the North Pole. This is the absolute coldest place on Earth, next to the South Pole. So, poor Coco's screaming out there, causing noise. Okay, so as you can see and hear, he logged in this missing diary that there's a valley down there, there's a river streams, there's a forest, there's green grass. So he's in shock now. Like he's even said, this should not be there. We should be flying over snow and ice. So they found that the North Pole was not what it seemed. So let's continue on and find out what they found, what they saw, and we're going to put it all together, and we're going to explain what exactly is in the North Pole.
Palm trees and champagne.
Well, take it in. Listen.
Our navigation instruments are still spinning. The gyroscope is oscillating back and forth. 10:05 hours. I alter altitude to 1,400 feet and execute a sharp turn to better examine the valley below.
No.
It is green with either moss or a type of knit grass. The light here seems different. I cannot see the sun anymore. We make another left turn and we spot what seems to be a large animal of some kind below us. It appears to be an elephant. No, it looks more like a mammoth. This is incredible. Yet there it is. Decrease altitude to 1,000 feet and take binoculars to better examine the animal. It is confirmed. It is definitely a mammoth-like animal. Report this to base camp. 10:30 hours. Encountering more rolling green hills now. The external temperature indicator reads 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Continuing on our heading now. Navigation instruments seem normal now. I am puzzled over their actions. Attempting to contact base camp. Radio is not functioning. 1130 hours. Countryside below is more level and normal, if I may use that word. Ahead we spot what seems to be a city. This is impossible. Aircraft seems light and oddly buoyant. The controls refuse to respond.
Wow, so a city. So rolling green hills, rivers, valleys, forest. Not what you're supposed to be seeing in the North Pole, ice and snow. So that's out the window now. And now he's saying he sees a city. Wow. Okay, so we're going to get into it. Let's listen to everything and we'll discuss it afterwards.
My God. Off our port and starboard wings are a strange type of aircraft. They are closing rapidly alongside. They are dish-shaped and have a radiant quality to them. They are close enough now to see the markings on them. It's a type of swastika. This is fantastic. Where are we? What has happened? I tug at the controls again. They will not respond. We are caught in an invisible vice grip of some type. 1135 hours. Our radio crackles and a voice comes through in English with what is perhaps a slight Nordic or Germanic accent. The message is, "Welcome, Admiral, to our domain. We shall land you in exactly 7 minutes. Relax, Admiral, you are in good hands." I note the engines of our plane have stopped running. The aircraft is under some strange control and is now turning itself. The controls are useless. 1140 hours. Another radio message received. We begin the landing process now, and in moments the plane shudders slightly and begins a descent as though caught in some great unseen elevator. The downward motion is negligible, and we touch down with only a slight jolt. 1145 hours. I am making a hasty last entry in the flight log. Several men are approaching on foot toward our aircraft. They are tall with blonde hair. In the distance is a large shimmering city pulsating with rainbow hues of color. I do not know what is going to happen now, but I see no signs of weapons on those approaching. I hear now a voice ordering me by name to open the cargo door. I comply. End log. From this point, I write all the following events here from memory. It defies the imagination. It would seem all but madness if it had not happened. The radio man and I are taken from the aircraft, and we are received in a most cordial manner. We were then boarded on a small platform-like conveyance with no wheels. It moves us toward the glowing city with great swiftness. As we approach, the city seems to be made of a crystal material.
Okay, so this is just it's just jumped completely from flying to the North Pole over ice and snow to landing in a secret city with forest, like hidden in the middle of the ice and snow. There's a city. Now the people took over their aircraft and landed them, and now they're gonna have a whole conversation. So I see Paul Byrne says the Norse aliens. So quickly, before we continue, so what this is leading into is the hollow earth theory, because this is the cover up for the flat earth. So if you have questions or want to know what happened, they're going to give you some more nonsense that ties in with their other nonsense. So they're still giving you a ball, but instead of it being, solid with crusts and a magna core, it's a hollow earth with a secret city inside the middle. So here's what they're describing as the people that are in Agartha. Is these blondes with blue eyes and German accents, right? Or Nordic accents. And then we see a picture of this Agartha hollow earth theory, which is pretty much what they're leading towards. And just listening to the last few logs, I was just like, this is nonsense. That's not real. So I could feel it because I already know the truth. But they're trying to lead you down to a hollow earth theory, which is complete disinformation, right? Yes, Island Boy, crazy info. This is real. This is from the mouths and the diary of a 33rd degree Master Mason, Admiral Byrd. His name ties into the year that this took place, 1926, and then 1947. So we're going to get into that. This is going to be quite the series. We're going to go through all the operations and how what they found and what they did immediately. I've looked into it, so I want to share it all with you. Okay, so they're leading towards, let's get back to it.
Soon we arrive at a large building that is a type I have never seen before. It appears to be right out of the design board of Frank Lloyd Wright, or perhaps more correctly, out of a Buck Rogers setting. We are given some type of warm beverage, which tasted like nothing I have ever savored before. It is delicious. After about 10 minutes, two of our wondrous appearing hosts come to our quarters and announce that I am to accompany them. I have no choice but to comply. I leave my radio man behind, and we walk a short distance and enter into what seems to be an elevator. We descend downward for some moments. The machine stops and the door lifts suddenly upward. We then proceed down a long hallway that is lit by a rose-colored light that seems to be emanating from the very walls themselves. One of the beings motions for us to stop before a great door. Over the door is an inscription that I cannot read. The great door slides noiselessly open, and I am beckoned to enter. One of my hosts speaks. "Have no fear, Admiral. You are to have an audience with the master." I step inside, and my eyes adjust to the beautiful coloration that seems to be filling the room completely. Then I begin to see my surroundings. What greeted my eyes is the most beautiful sight of an entire existence. It is in fact too beautiful and wondrous to describe. It is exquisite and delicate. I do not think there exists a human term that can describe it in any detail with justice. My thoughts are interrupted in a cordial manner by a warm, rich voice of melodious quality. "I bid you welcome to our domain, Admiral." I see a man with delicate features and with the etching of years upon his face. He is seated at a long table. He motions me to sit down in one of the chairs. After I am seated, he places his fingertips together and smiles. He speaks softly again and conveys the following. "We have let you enter here because you are of noble character and well known on the surface world, Admiral." Surface world. I half gasped under my breath. "Yes," the master replies with a smile. "You are in the domain of the Ariani, the inner world of Earth. We shall not long delay your mission, and you will be safely escorted back to the surface and for a distance beyond. But now, Admiral, I shall tell you why you have been summoned here. Our interest rightly begins just after your race exploded the first atomic bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan. It was at that alarming time we sent our flying machines, the Flugelrads, to your surface world to investigate what your race had done. That is, of course, past history now, my dear Admiral, but I must continue on."
Okay, so now they're talking about okay, this is, to me, this sounds fake, but that's what's in his diary. And considering, yes, he is a 33rd degree Master Mason, a member of Lodge Number 1, Washington, D.C. It's on Wikipedia under memberships. So this is the disinfo. This is how they're covering it up. There's no way they found a secret world in the hollow earth. And the Ariani race greets them and says, "Oh, welcome, Admiral. You're well known on the surface world, and now your people have atomic weapons, and we're worried because you blew up Japan." So this is nonsense. And they got these flying machines named Flugelrads. So let's quickly see what these Flugelrags look like. This whole hollow earth thing is such nonsense. Flugelrad. The Flugelrad. So that's a Flugelrad. It's a flying saucer, right? So that's what they're trying to claim, that these flying saucer machines are theirs. Thank you, Sue. Just thinking how fake it sounds. But yeah, you can order the book on Amazon. I was going to get a copy, but I'm not even going to waste my time because we can just listen to it on the computer. It's not worth any money or anything to deal with Amazon for this nonsense, fake Mason crap, right? But we have to go through it because everything after what happened here is how NASA was born, how the whole universe was born, which is complete nonsense. So let's get back into this whole discussion with the Ariani race.
"You see, We have never interfered before in your race's wars and barbarity, but now we must, for you have learned to tamper with a certain power that is not for man, namely, that of atomic energy. Our emissaries have already delivered messages to the powers of your world, and yet they do not heed. Now you have been chosen to be witness here that our world does exist. You see, our culture and science is many thousands of years beyond your race, Admiral. I interrupted. But what does this have to do with me, sir? The master's eyes seemed to penetrate deeply into my mind, and after studying me for a few moments, he replied, Your race has reached the point of no return, for there are those among you who would destroy your very world rather than relinquish their power as they know it. I nodded, and the master continued. In 1945 and afterward, we tried to contact your race, but our efforts were met with hostility, and our Flugelrads were fired upon. Yes, even pursued with malice and animosity by your fighter planes. So now, I say to you, my son, there is a great storm gathering in your world, a black fury that will not spend itself for many years. There will be no answer in your arms. There will be no safety in your science. It may rage on until every flower of your culture is trampled, and all human things are leveled in vast chaos. Your recent war was only a prelude of what is yet to come for your race. We here see it more clearly with each hour. Do you say I am mistaken? No, I answer. It happened once before. The Dark Ages came, and they lasted for more than 500 years. Yes, my son, replied the master. The Dark Ages that will come now for your race will cover the earth like a pall. But I believe that some of your race will live through the storm. Beyond that, I cannot say. We see at a great distance a new world stirring from the ruins of your race, seeking its lost and legendary treasures. And they will be here, my son, safe in our keeping. When that time arrives, we shall come forward again to help you revive your culture and your race. Perhaps by then, you will have learned the futility of war and its strife, and after that time, certain of your culture and science will be returned for your race to begin anew. You, my son, are to return to the surface world with this message. With these closing words, our meeting seemed at an end. I stood for a moment as in a dream, but yet I knew this was reality, and for some strange reason, I bowed slightly, either out of respect or humility, I do not know which. Suddenly, I was again aware that the two beautiful hosts who had brought me here were again at my side. This way, Admiral, mentioned one. I turned once more before leaving and looked back toward the master. A gentle smile was etched on his delicate and ancient face. Farewell, my son, he spoke. Then he gestured with a lovely, slender hand a motion of peace, and our meeting was truly ended. Quickly, we walked back through the great door of the master's chamber and once again entered into the elevator. The door slid silently downward, and we were once again going upward. One of my hosts spoke again. We must now make haste, Admiral, as the master desires to delay you no longer on your scheduled timetable, and you must return with his message to your race. I said nothing. All of this was almost beyond belief, and once again my thoughts were interrupted as we stopped. I entered the room and was again with my radio man. He had an anxious expression on his face. As I approached, I said, "It is all right, Howie. It is all right." The two beings motioned us toward the awaiting conveyance. We boarded and soon arrived back at the aircraft. The engines were idling and we boarded immediately. The whole atmosphere seemed charged now with a certain air of urgency. After the cargo door was closed, the aircraft was immediately lifted by that unseen force until we reached an altitude of 2,700 feet. Two of the aircraft were alongside for some distance, guiding us on our return way. I must state here, the airspeed indicator registered no reading, yet we were moving along at a very rapid rate. Entry flight log continues. 0215 hours. A radio message comes through. We are leaving you now, Admiral. Your controls are free. Auf Wiedersehen. We watched for a moment as the Flugelrads disappeared into the pale blue sky. The aircraft suddenly felt as though caught in a sharp downdraft for a moment. We quickly recovered her control. We do not speak for some time. Each man has his thoughts. 0220 hours. We are again over the vast areas of ice and snow, approximately 27 minutes from base camp. We radio them, they respond. We report all conditions normal. Base camp expresses relief at our reestablished contact. 0300 hours. We land smoothly at base camp. I have a mission. End log entries. March 11th, 1947. I have just attended a staff meeting at the Pentagon. I have stated fully my discovery and the message from the master.
Wow. Okay. So they're back. And look at the date. It's March 11th, 1947, which is the day he dies 10 years later, right? 1957, March 11th. So again, March 11th keeps coming up. The 311, it's the pandemic date. It's the date that he arrives at the Pentagon to be briefed after what happened in the North Pole. And I'm going to tell you what happened, because what this diary says, according to him, is not what happened. I'm going to show you what exactly happened, and we're going to laugh at what happened, right? So again, he dies on this date 10 years later. So let's finish it up.
All is duly recorded. The president has been advised. I am now detained for several hours, 6 hours, 39 minutes to be exact. I am interviewed by top security forces and a medical team. It was an ordeal. I am placed under strict control via the national security provisions of the United States of America. I am ordered to remain silent in regard to all that I have learned on behalf of humanity. Incredible. I am reminded that I am a military man and I must obey orders. December 30th, 1956. Final entry. I must write this diary in secrecy and obscurity. It concerns my Arctic flight of the 19th day of February in the year of 1947. There comes a time when the rationality of men must fade into insignificance, and one must accept the inevitability of the truth. I am not at liberty to disclose the following documentation at this writing. Perhaps it shall never see the light of public scrutiny, but I must do my duty and record here for all to one day read. These last few years elapsed since 1947 have not been kind. I now make my final entry in this singular diary. In closing, I must state that I have faithfully kept this matter secret as directed all these years. It has been completely against my values of moral right.
Okay, so he was briefed March 11th, 1947, right? And they told him, you're a military man, you're sworn to secrecy for the sake of humanity, right? So whatever he's found out and discovered in the North Pole, he was reminded at the Pentagon through orders of the president to remain silent, that you're a military man. And then it skips to like 10 years later, pretty much just about when he's about to die, 3 months before he dies. So the end of is December 30th, 1956. So 3 months before he dies, he's talking about his regrets and how he's kept it quiet all this time. We're going to finish it off. So listen to what he says.
Now I seem to sense the long night coming on, and this secret will not die with me, but as all truth shall, it will triumph, and so it shall. This can be the only hope for mankind. I have seen the truth, and it has quickened my spirit and has set me free. I have done my duty towards the monstrous military-industrial complex. Now, the long night begins to approach, but there shall be no end. Just as the long night of the Arctic ends, the brilliant sunshine of truth shall come again, and those who are of darkness shall fall in its light. For I have seen that land beyond the pole, that center of the great unknown. Admiral Richard E. Byrd, United States Navy, December 24th, 1956.
Wow. So his closing words, you saw, he's like, oh, I feel the long night coming on. So he's regretful. He's like, oh, I served my time for the military industrial complex. So let's quickly do back to the Gematria calculator. Actually, yeah, let's go to the Bible before we get to it. So all of that was some truth, but full of lies. There were no Ariani race. There was no Flugelrads. There was no Hollow Earth and a whole city, right? So we're going to show you the cover of his book. I'm going to bring it up because we have to get into the imagery and what's true and what's not true. This is where I come in to help you decipher through the madness and the disinfo and process the truth, okay? Sorry, let me share the screen again. Okay, so we're gonna go Google this quick. Yeah, Richard Byrd's diary, images. So as you can see, here it is. The cover, the front and back of it, and look at the front. Look at the image on the cover of his diary once it was finally released. You see this? That is the land hidden in the North Pole, the 4 continents of Eden, with the rivers, the Euphrates and whatnot, the rivers running through it. And the magnetic mountain is right there in the middle. This is what they found, is Eden. So that's just on his the book cover for his diary. So I want to show you a clearer picture of the the hidden land inside of inside the North Pole, because it is Eden. So here's a better look at it. So as you can see, it's like this is North America, but it's right there in the North Pole. And there's the magnetic mountain. That's why all compasses point to north, because this is where it is. Okay, so let's go to the Bible now, because I'm going to tell you what he ran into, because the Bible fully states what happens if you try to go back to Eden, because we were banished from Eden because of what our ancestors, Adam and Eve, did. Sex and fornication in the Garden of Eden is the original sin, which is why God got angry and was furious and banished Adam and Eve out of Eden, told them to go east. And we're going to get to the Bible because it is in Genesis. Genesis 3:24. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So, as you know here, everything in the Bible is literal truth. So it says that the cherubims guard Eden after man and woman were banished and expelled from paradise. So it says the cherubims are there and the flaming sword. So there is no Aryan race. There is no Flugerads. What happened is when these Masons and these satanic scum tried to go to Eden, they were turned away by the cherubim. They saw the flaming sword and they were told, don't ever return. And they knew then that the Bible was the truth. So they came up with this whole German swastika story, Hollow Earth, to cover everything, right? Because they're not in the business of sharing with the world and humanity Bible prophecy. So there it is in Genesis 3:24, and this is what they saw. So cherubim, God, Eden. Cherubim equals 474 in English Sumerian. So for all you regular crusaders that are familiar with the gematria and the numbers, there's cherubim from the Bible, the guardians of Eden. There's your magic number 474, which ties in with everything that's happening now. Right? So here's more flags that took place in 1926. It's all there. And then we get into Operation High Jump. So Operation High Jump, officially titled the United States Navy Antarctic Development Program from 1946 to 1947. So there's your 47. That's another Freemason number because it's 47 degrees on the compass and it's 90 degrees on the square, right? So that's why they use the number 47. And again, remember, Admiral Byrd's middle name is Evelyn, Eve. So he went to Eden. So it's like Eve returning to Eden, right? So, and according to his birth chart and the year he was born and all the numbers, It's wild what they're doing. They're covering and hiding Bible prophecy by mimicking and mirroring and just all this distorted devil crap going on right in plain sight. And they release what they want us to see, not the full truth. And of course, they're going to release this diary and take out all the truth, whether it was always in there, and come up with this nonsense story that ties in with New Age and ancestry and Aryan race. It's nonsense. It's another fake story to fuel the fire for their other fake religions, right? So yeah, from 1926 to 1947, they found Eden in the North Pole. So but we'll never know the truth, but we do know what happened. He didn't come across these blonde, perfect race. No, came across the cherubim and the flaming sword of Eden and were turned away. So Eden is right there in the north. That's why all nations around, surrounding and close, like Scotland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, which is Edenmark, and Sweden is southwest of Eden. We'll get into that, but we're going to try and get into this whole diary thing. We don't need to spend too much time, but we covered that pretty quick, so I got more time to go through anything more. So what's everyone saying regarding that diary? I know Sue said she felt when it started to look fake. So yeah, King of Kings says the Book of Enoch was my first real awakening. Of course, we need it, and together with the Holy Bible. The Holy Bible still has so much power and tells you everything right there from Genesis all the way to Revelation. So again, Eden is there. Man was driven out. It didn't disappear anywhere. It didn't disappear in the flood because the angels' buildings are still there, which means Eden is still there. And when they flew over the ice and snow and finally saw it, and the cherubim told them, don't return, then they came back. And what they did then, in the next 10 years, up until he died, you're going to see the dates, you're going to see the operations that took place. And again, this is right after World War II, right? Paul Burns, wow, Nico, I never thought of it like that. Sweden, southwest of Eden, of course. And Denmark is just Edenmark without the E, right? Aberdeen is Aber Eden, right? It just goes on. Norway is the way to the north. It's all coded. I've looked into all the names of the cities. Edinburgh, capital of Scotland, is actually Edinburgh. So there's a lot of Eden in the world. I've shown you the cane and all the pharmaceutical drugs and how cane is still corrupting our DNA. I showed you Ham and how Ham was given this whole world after the flood because of his deception and falling prey and foul and falling into temptation to the devil. So Ham, Buckingham Palace, Hamptons, Hamilton, Markham, Durham, right? So this whole world belongs to Satan. We're in the devil's playground. And the devil is a child. The devil is a bratty little kid, a problem child. That's why it's called the devil's playground. Not the devil's office, not the devil's studio, not the devil's mansion, not the devil's sanctuary. It's a playground for a kid because that's what the devil is, right? So don't give these angels credit that they're these wondrous beings. They're nothing. They fell. Thank you, Kimberly Taylor. It is mind-blowing. Good evening, Kathy Paquette. Lots of stuff to go through, and we haven't even started. Like, there's so much flat earth stuff. Like, there's thousands of memes. I've joined so many groups on Facebook, but people aren't really teaching it and uncovering it the way it needs to be. Like, I can show you memes and show you all the sun behind clouds. I will end up showing you anyway. We're going to go through it, right? But it all begins with the government and the militaries and the Masons, because they're the ones that have the tools. Like, we don't have the tools to survive and go on a boat and go to the freaking North Pole to find Eden. We'll die on the way, right? And probably never return. So these people had the planes and had all the tanks and military equipment and money and funding from 1926 all the way through to 1947, right? So, Operation High Jump. So once they found what they found in the North Pole and were told not to return by the cherubim, what did they do? They rushed to the South Pole. They're like, wow, look what we just found. We've just come face to face with cherubim and the flaming sword of Eden, right? And we're told, get out of here. Your people are not welcome back in paradise until you repent, until you are judged by the Father, right? So they came back. He was briefed. He told the Pentagon everything. They said, you are sworn to secrecy, right? You cannot tell anyone this for the sake of humanity. So he didn't until he died. And then that journal was released afterwards, which probably wasn't written by him, probably written by his Mason buddies, and just more disinfo, more leading people down the wrong path, away, anything that's away from the Holy Bible, right? So they rushed to the South Pole with a fleet, with an army in 1947 to the South Pole. Sorry, let me see some comments quickly before I get lost into... yeah, Angela says, hi, Mukesh. Wow, a lot of things happened after the war for Satan's side. Yeah, before and after, right? They've been doing this. Everything that happened wasn't by chance. At the turn, by the time the 1800s ended, they already knew and set up every single day that the 1900s would bring, all the way up until now. Every day, every season has been planned. All the technology has been organized to how they're going to release it, right? Through black and white TV to color TV. Like, if you can make a TV, like, it doesn't make sense, right? The technology, when you look at how they do the bits and the megabytes and the gigs and then the terabytes, it's nonsense. Obviously, you already have the best thing, but then you tone it down and release it to us decade by decade, bit by bit, right?
Money.
Just look at the technology, right? That's not how it works and how it comes about, from like radio to TV, black and white, and then color. No, it just not how it happens. If you could have one, then you could pretty much make everything and not control it and release it and have full slave power over it and give it to the people, right? And now we got all these smart devices and everything's so damn connected to the metaverse. It's ridiculous. We've been played, humanity. We have been played. And the only thing that can save us now is Jesus Christ and the Holy Bible. Not the church, not religion, not running and professing that you're a Christian or a Catholic. No, because that's not what I'm doing, right? That's not what God is. People that don't understand God say, oh, that's not God-like. God is love and forgiveness. I'm like, no, that's your new age satanic God, which doesn't make sense, right? So they feel like they could do whatever they want, and then Judgment Day, God's just going to forgive them. No, God is not a forgiving God, right? It's a loving God and a jealous God and a just God. You're welcome, Paul Burns. Metaverse, even Facebook is called Meta. Yes, Facebook's already dead. It's full on Meta now, right?
Facebook just locked my damn account.
So he's been locked out of Facebook.
You're too afraid to get me back in the public eye again for this year.
So yeah, so Operation High Jump. So we're gonna get into it. Look, why isn't this getting bigger? Am I on the page? Okay. So yeah, it says a force. So there was a task force, 68 included, 4,700 men. So 13 ships and 33 aircraft. High Jump's objectives, according to the U.S. Navy report of operation, were to train personnel and testing equipment in frigid conditions, consolidating the extending the United States sovereignty over the largest practicable area of the Antarctic continent. So they wanted to set up bases, claim it, and explore. That's what they wanted to do. So there's a whole timeline of what happened. It's all here on Wikipedia. I'm going to tell you what happened because there's no point in going over everything. Like, hundreds of people have already done it, right? So here's what happened with Operation High Jump. We're going to go one operation at a time. Like you saw 4,000. Wait, did it really say 4,700 people?
4,700.
So is that what it said? Yeah. 4,700 men. So there's your Mason number 47 again in 1947. 4,700 men. Why couldn't it be 4,500 or 4,000 or 5,000 on the dot? No, it had to be 47. So there's your 47 again. So the ice wall, that's why it's called high jump, because they had to get up 200 feet just to get onto the surface of Antarctica, which is not a continent,
I
right?
did high jump in high school and elementary, but yeah.
So they had to bring all the ships there, all the tools, all the trained Navy personnel that could withstand the frigid minus like 100-degree weather, right? So it's freezing. So it's not like an operation that just any of us could jump in a boat with a couple of buddies and go and explore. You would be dead by the time you reached like anywhere, right? So it's not happening. This is how they were able to do it 70 years ago, right? Back in the 40s. So let me see. So yeah, 33 aircraft. Good job. So all the numbers are there. You guys are all catching it. The 4,700, the 33 aircraft. It's all by design. Joseph Aquaviva, welcome. Beast equals 47. Yeah, but I told them that the compass on the compass and square. So the square is at 90 degrees and the compass is at 47 degrees on the top, right? So yeah, what is the curse of Tecumseh? But I think you're right about Biden dying. So yeah, everyone's here sharing information.
Biden, as in Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go,
Let's leave that down
Brandon.
below in the comment section. Let's go, Brandon.
So yeah. So Joseph says sharing National Aeronautics and Space Administration 666, and we're not even there yet. I'm gonna show you why NASA came about, all because of what they found in the North Pole. So remember, it's 1926, and then now we're in 1947. They're at the South Pole now. They've already been turned away by the cherubim. Admiral Byrd was turned away by the cherubim and the flaming sword, as it states in Genesis 3:24, right? So they knew not to go back to the North Pole. And guess what? No one has ever gone back to the North Pole because the military agreed, no, we cannot go back. We cannot let the world know. So they went to the South. So we're still like 11 years, 12 years until NASA, right? Let's go, Brando.
Yeah. Or Trudeau.
F. Joe Biden. So yeah,
Yes.
Mukesh is getting everyone out there. We got all our lovely American Crusaders
America,
here.
New York.
Tell them to rise up, Mukesh.
Yeah.
Tell them to
You
resist.
better rise up right now in New York. Big message for you. Please grow some balls. My whole life, I thought you guys had balls in New York. I'm from New York, and now I feel embarrassed to be from there, especially the Bronx. Like, come on, man. I'm a regular schmegular boy from the Bronx, and boy, OG Fire, aka Mukesh Freedom, coming at you live from the 6th now, not New York. So grow some balls, please.
Yeah, I just watched this.
Same thing with you, all you commie liberal in LA right now. You're acting just like New York. You're supposed to be the land of angels and dreams.
Yeah.
You sound more like commies.
Hashtag grow a pair. Join the resistance. Yes. I'm giving you guys the power. Take it. It's yours, America. We need you. No one in the world is going to rise up unless America does it first. Because you guys are the best at everything. So let's go.
If America goes down, we all go down. Plain and simple.
So here we go. Prince Cairo, watched the new Ghostbusters movie. Yeah, I did watch it. It was pretty crazy and coded. I'll get into that. So yeah, Operation High Jump. So I'm going to tell you the story. So they used all this military, all this equipment, hundreds of $1 million worth, right? So they got on top of the surface of the ice ring because it's not a continent, right? So once they got on board, they set up their bases, their camps. They found what they found, whether it was pyramids, whether it was more Tartarian buildings, right, covered in ice on Antarctica. This is what they're not going to tell us, but there's a lot of people on the internet. I've looked at all the Google Earth images, and there's so many structures on Antarctica, right? So the whole ice age and gazillion years ago and before the dinosaurs, nothing, that's nonsense. No one can look at a rock and tell you it's friggin' 400 years old from the prehistoric era. No, never. That's crap. You're going to look at a stone and tell me, no, this stone is like 5 years old. You know, this one is like 3 years young, but this one's 7 million. You know, it's from the prehistoric dynastic era. So they found stuff and there was more. We're going to get into it. I won't be able to find it now. So the operation got cut short. Let's just say that, because they thought that they were under attack, supposedly. I'm going to find the diary or the information where I learned this from. But what happened on this Operation High Jump, after they set up the base and did some discovering, they had some planes and they were flying around Antarctica, and they were trying to fly deep to fly because they didn't want to trek deep into it. Not only did they have to get 200 feet up to get on the surface, then there's still like kilometers, like 100 kilometers just to deep into it. So they got the planes to fly, and the planes hit the dome because the dome's edge is right there, and they flew into the barrier and exploded, and they thought they were under attack, right? Supposedly. The story is, oh, we thought we were under attack by Nazis, blah blah blah. It's nonsense. They found the edge. They lost some people because they flew their military planes. They didn't see the edge of the dome and flew smack into it and went poof.
Oh,
right?
I'm hella confused right now. Okay.
Yep. Talk.
Okay.
Let's go.
Because like the Bible says the earth is round. Well, that can mean anything. Round as in the dome, or round as in spherical.
Round
Whatever.
like
And then-
a
but
plate,
then-
right?
Yeah, I was thinking like the whole life, it's a globe. That's fair to say. I'll
Okay,
believe
okay.
that.
But
However,
why?
wait, it also states in the Bible something about 4 points or 4 corners. That also gets me hella confused. So I can't really make a comment.
So your whole life, right? Let's get into it, because why has all of us our whole life believed that the world is a globe? Like, when did you first see and learn that the world was a globe floating in space?
I don't know, since watching cartoons, since I can remember.
Cartoons, again, cartoons
Books.
equals 666, right? With cartoon books, school books, what, grade 6 in
The
school?
globe that's in the kindergarten class.
Kindergarten.
The blow up globe ball that every man wanted.
Wow, see, it's fake. NASA is Disney, right, for adults and children, because
I
they
hate working
they
with
put it,
Disney.
they work together, so they get the minds of the young and show them space and blow up balloons of the world. It's crap, right? We cannot base our belief system on something we
But then,
believed in when we were children, right? Not even adolescents.
well, can't you just go up in space and check if the world's round and take a picture? Like, didn't they do that already or no?
Of course they did it. Now, who did it? Who has the money and the tools to do any of that? That's what I'm showing you.
NASA?
The
government?
military, the government. I could what? You think we're gonna be able to go to Antarctica with just a few bucks of gas? No, we're not gonna get anywhere. We probably wouldn't even get out of Canada, let alone get to Antarctica. They had to bring
What do you mean
40.
get out of Canada?
They had
I could get out-
4,700 ships.
I could get out of Canada. I could go anywhere in the world.
Yes,
I got
never a
full
straight
citizenship.
answer.
Yeah.
Exactly, kindergarten, Stacey D. So they've been teaching us these lies since kids. And when you're a kid and some adult is telling you in kindergarten, this is where you live, what are you going to tell them? You're going to be rude to them and be like, no. You're going to be like, no, the adult's telling me, so I'm going to believe them, right? And
What do you mean? This is where you live? Like my address?
no, like your world. This is the world we live
Right.
in. We're on Earth, and then there's Mars and Venus and Neptune and Pluto, right?
Well, I don't know about Pluto, dwarf planet, all that.
See,
business.
dwarf planet. See, that's fake science. It's satanic crap. So they flew. They tried to get more info and more ground over Antarctica, and they lost some planes by flying into the dome. So then what happened is they packed up quick and they rushed back to civilization, to North America, to Europe, and things went quiet in the world. Nothing happened, right? They were hiding stuff. So what happened after Operation High Jump? It was Operation Deep Freeze, right? So, but that's when it happened. So,
Is that the Ice Age?
so the timeline, let's see. So after the operation ended, a follow-up Operation Windmill returned to the area in order to provide a ground truthing to the aerial photography of high jump from 1947 to 48, right? So human losses on December 30th, 1946, aviation radioman Frederick Wendell K. Henderson, Frederick Williams, and Ensign Maxwell Lopez were killed when their Martin PBM Marina George 1 crashed during a blizzard.
They had helicopters back then?
No, a plane. Yeah, and some helicopters, right? Because they just came out of World War I and II. But look, they lost people on this operation, like I just said, saying that they lost these pilots because there was a blizzard. That's not true. Because what I heard and what I found out was that they lost those planes and those pilots because they flew into the edge of the firmament, because that's where the edge is in Antarctica. Sorry, I hope you guys saw that. So yeah, it's right here. It says human losses right here on the Wikipedia, and it says that they crashed during a blizzard, which is nonsense. So the surviving 6 crew members were rescued 13 days later at the edge of the dome, right? So because they flew, so the rest of the army had to trek out there to find out why their planes didn't come back. So when they finally got to the edge of the dome and the survivors explained, they saw it with their own everything, the edge right there, and the planes were lost, and that's how they got lost. Sorry, let me see some of these comments. You guys are amazing as usual. Jumping up on here, you guys, are so much going on.
Check out jointheresistance.ca, by the way.
Sorry, I'm seeing a lot of stuff. I know it's hard to take in, so let's just bring everyone back, because I know this is one of those topics I wanted to hold off because people are very sensitive over flat Earth and the whole globe that they believe in and the Big Bang. So I wasn't trying to lose subscribers over this, but we have to go through the facts, right? So we've gone back as far as 1926. We've gone into this character, Richard Evelyn Byrd. So the fact that this dude's name is Evelyn, Eve, is right there, because the short form name of Evelyn is Eve. So why did this person with the name Eve get chosen to go to Eden? All by design, right? All by design. So yeah, I see J7 is sharing all that info. Paul Burns, Raging River, Lacey Lavender, Karen Bell. Karen says that
What's up?
she's calling you my sidekick. See, you're
Sidekick.
distracting.
Thank you.
He wanted to eat cereal live on the show, and I was
Just
like, no,
go-
that's going to be too
No,
distracting.
comment down below. Would you guys be interested in me picking out the mushrooms? Not the mushrooms. The
Marshmallows.
Marshmallows out of the Lucky Charms and put into a separate bowl and pour strawberry milk out of it. I'll just sit there and eat it because that's originally what I wanted to do. So if you guys want to watch me eat cereal, comment down below and comment your favorite cereal as well.
So Justin Litz has a good comment here. Wait till you see the second sun. So going back to the diary, when he gets to the North Pole, he says that he cannot see the sun anymore. And then he says the light here is different because Eden has its own sun. Whether it's the black sun that people have been hearing of, it's not the black hole sun. The black hole sun is the second sun, the fake sun. That's why all our weather is weird these days. That's why Stacy posted on Facebook the other day that it was like 4 a.m. It's supposed to be pitch black, but the daylight's coming through her window. So I'm like,
hold on.
weird stuff.
But then, okay, you talk about that, but then what about this whole geoengineering thing? What's your opinion on that?
There is no global warming because Earth is not a globe. There might be climate change, yeah,
There's
not
no global
natural
warming.
climate change, but they're changing the climate because they have no choice, because they need to change climate because they are in the business of hiding Bible prophecy. So they needed a second sun because God said that he's going to turn off the lights on the sun right after tribulation or before. We'll get into it. And if the sun goes dark, then people will know that, wow, this is a Bible prophecy. So when the sun does go dark, NASA has a fake sun that's going to stay on. And it's that they're both circling together around Earth, right? So, yeah, Lacey says the Bermuda Triangle is one of their giant portals, which is why Cape Canaveral, NASA, all their rockets they fire go into the Bermuda Triangle, right? So, like I said, there's hundreds of memes, if not thousands of images of, flat Earth, the sun, the lights on the highway and how it looks like they're setting, but they're not, because as you drive and get closer, they're still right above your head, right? So There's a whole bunch of science to go through, but I'm keeping it biblical, and I'm keeping it all the facts, all the operations. So you see there, I cannot believe this guy says human losses. So they lost human lives because they blamed it on a blizzard. So you know how the military likes to lie. You see it in the Hollywood movies every time when the military accidentally gets involved. Something that says, "Oh, well, we're going to tell the press." Oh, just tell them what you always tell them: training exercise. But this wasn't a training exercise because these guys died. They didn't even know that they were flying into anything, so they didn't even have time to eject or turn around. They just flew, and here comes the firmament dome. That's exactly what happened. So they had to pack up and go back, stay quiet, cover up their tracks, and prepare the next step. Because what they found, first of all, they found the Garden of Eden, and then they find the firmament. So they put two and two together, like, this is God's world. It's true. We need to hide it. We need to not let this get out. So Sandra Barron says, sidekick is funny. Marshmallows, do it.
Yeah,
the
see?
fruity pebbles, or the
Exactly.
cinnamon toast crunch.
Hit my DMs on Instagram, mukesh._MUKESH._ and text me. DM me your favorite cereal there as well.
This guy loves his Lucky
Charms.
Charms.
You already know this. Your boy Mukesh Freedom, aka Mr. Lucky Charms, coming at you again live from the 6th. Fun fact: 2020 Halloween, I dressed up as a lucky leprechaun, and a bottle of Bailey's, this Irish wine, and a Lucky Charms cereal box were my 3 accessories while I was dressed up as a leprechaun. It was pretty lit. So yeah, I'm a fan of Ireland, Irish culture, Lucky Charms. Yeah, I was a fan of Ireland.
Talk to them.
I still love my Irish people that support freedom, obviously, because we're all essential. Talk to them. I'm just trying to get used to talking back in front of a camera, so this is a great warm up, a great exercise. I know I kind of suck at it, but it's okay. I recently got started on reading up the Bible last month. Only read the first few chapters plus like random verses and chapters across the Bible, but now I'm mostly focused every day on this website, this Bible study website. Let me see if I could find the name for y'all. I only read lessons 17 and 1 to where is it? Lessons 1 to 6. And the website is called amazingfacts.org. Again, that's amazingfacts.org. I recommend everybody to do your Bible studies there. You'll learn a lot. It'll wake you to F up. If you're already awake, you'll wake up even more. Trust me on God.
Nice. Thank you.
I know my voice is too monotone and boring, but deal with it.
Okay, so we know. So now we know what happened in 1946, 1947 with Operation High Jump, Deep Freeze, and whatever else they did. They lost lives because it was pilots, not just people walking. So why else would pilots lose their lives? Not because of a blizzard. That doesn't make sense. They could fight it and land and survive. No, they flew into the dome, the edge of it, not the above part, because they were in Antarctica. So they finally found the bottom edge part. So they hit it with their planes. So what happened? Things went quiet. They removed themselves from Antarctica after what they found. So they found what they found in the north, and then they found what they found in the south. So here's what happened next.
1958.
No, 1957 first. So 1957, March 11th, Admiral Byrd dies, right? So he's gone now. He's out the picture, right? They don't have to worry. He was the Eve that returned to Eden, right? So Eve is now out the picture. 1957. Then we get the year after Admiral Byrd dies, 1957, so it's now 1958, we get the founding of NASA. So this is what happened. They found the Garden of Eden. They found the dome firmament and proved that it's real and that the Bible is the truth. So what did they do? Instead of telling the world to praise God, to praise Jesus Christ, because he is the truth and we found it, they hid it. So the year after Admiral Byrd mysteriously dies or whatever, old age. He's gone now. Master Mason, sacrifice, ritual on March 11th, because that's when the pandemic began. We get NASA, and there's your satanic tongue. It's the NASA T minus, right? Satan. And what is it? It's the space agency. So they fully well know that space is fake. They know that there's a dome, but what are they going to do? They're going to remove it anyway, right? And how are you going to remove a dome that you want to hide, right? They already know that Nimrod tried, their great ancestor, right? Because they're all Hamites. They're all tied to that bloodline. So they're continuing the work of Nimrod. It's exactly what they're doing. And Nimrod built the tower to break it and destroy it physically, but that did not happen. So instead, they found a new way. They're not going to build a tower. They're going to build a space program, and they're going to send a rocket into the Bermuda Triangle, but somehow do CGI footage and tell you that, look, we're going to the moon. That's why they need the space program, because it helps remove the dome firmament. And once the dome firmament is removed, then that removes God. That removes the whole Holy Bible, right? So again, 1958, they founded NASA. And guess what they did the year after the founding of NASA? A space program, right? So they're supposed to be focused on space right now. So what does the world do after they get their space program to go to damn space? This is what they do in 1959. The Antarctic Treaty, right? 1959, they signed the Antarctic Treaty. Here you go, December 1st, 1959. So instead of focusing on their new space exploration and getting them their Apollo missions ready to go to the moon, they're getting every nation of this world and their one world government to sign papers and documents saying that Antarctica is off limits. Why is it off limits if you're focused on going to space, right? Because what they found, they're trying to hide. So in 57, Admiral Eve Byrd dies. 58, they create NASA, a space agency to explore space, but they're still set on Antarctica because the following year, they're banning every nation exploration rights to go to Antarctica, and they sign a treaty, right? So there you go. So that's the timeline of what happened once they had the military funding and technology and their Admiral Eve to return to Eden and see it for themselves. Thank you, J7. Yes. So once we get into the Apollo 11 or 13, whatever it is, I don't know which one's the film, or yeah. So Neil A. Armstrong is Neil A. Alien backwards, just like Eve for Admiral Evelyn Byrd. Then you get Alien. So they're all part. So they send Neil Armstrong to this fake space because they needed to fake the alien invasion. So Neil Armstrong is connected with Alien, and it was Admiral Eve Byrd that went to Eden. So they have the connection, the biblical satanic connections, right? Can you believe this?
You said you're trying to fake an alien invasion.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts? Have you seen much alien stuff going on lately? I saw there was a story about a naked alien sighting somewhere in the States. It's ridiculous.
For years, for decades, about alien sightings. However,
straight cover up, says David Minnie. Thank you. Sandra Barron says that things are happening in Antarctica for sure. There's a lot. Okay, look at all the buildings we have here on our
Antarctica for like a boat ride or something.
No, you cannot. You cannot go anywhere near Antarctica.
I cannot do something. I'm gonna put my mind to it.
They have a treaty.
Someday in the future, I'm gonna get my own private jet with like
look
the best technology.
I'll read it for you. I'm gonna show you what the Antarctic Treaty is, why no one can go there. So the Antarctic Treaty and related agreements, collectively known as the Antarctic Treaty System, regulate international relations with respect to Antarctica, Earth's only continent, which is not a continent, without a native human population. And they want to keep it that way because there's too much to hide. It was the first arms control agreement established during the Cold War, setting aside the continent as a scientific preserve, establishing freedom of scientific investigation and banning military activity for the purposes of the treaty system. What? So how did they get all these nations? I'm going to show you how many. It was like over 100 countries signed this, but they're in the middle of a freaking Cold War and world wars just happened. And then the nations are not supposed to be friends, but all of a sudden they agree, yeah, it's for science. It's a bunch of bollocks. Thank you, David Many. The treaty makes no logical sense. People cannot justify it. It does not make any sense at all. You cannot just ban a continent, people from a continent, and have it reserved for scientific exploration. That's a load of crap. People still live in Alaska. People still live in Greenland, right? It's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. People live in Nunavut, Canada. Crazy.
I want to go to Iceland someday. You seen Justin Bieber's music video? What's that? When he's in Iceland with the Pirate Black 350s on?
No.
I'll show you.
No, those songs, his songs are crap. Not like they were 2016.
Oh, that was from the Purpose album back in 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. A naked alien was spotted in Montana, and Montana equals 666. Just like the Chino Hill sighting posted by TMZ a couple months ago with a UFO sighting, and Chino Hills equals 666 also.
There's viewers in here that's confused about what do you mean by this certain name or word equals 666. Can you show them the website you use to demonstrate, please?
Where? Who said that? Someone said that?
No. I just know some people watching or might be confused about, because I'm also confused. How does Montana equal 666?
First of all, explain who you are. Sonia wants to know who's Mukesh Freedom right here.
Okay, Mukesh Freedom. I'm a freedom fighter. I'm Ontario's youngest organizer. Apparently, I got that title. Chris Kai's right-hand man, his assistant, graphic designer, merchandise manager, blacklisted actor for basically going to freedom rallies.
Yeah, he's an actor. He was. What did you get? What did you get fired from?
First, Toronto only has 2 top casting directors, and the first one I burned through because it was right after Adamson Barbecue. That was my first rally. That was a big deal. And then after that I was on set. I only got set.
Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek. I only got booked a few times last year. No, a few times after I was done the movie called One Up. So when I was on set for Star Trek, I was having this weird day. I'm never ever the last one to get my hair, makeup, and wardrobe on. But I was. And then before that, though, the casting director, the other one that I did not burn through, and my agent was all on this 3-way phone call with me for a super long time, over an hour on the phone, trying to explain to me, just staying low key, trying to see if they could trust me and comply and all that BS. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And the fact that, the Freedom family is obviously approving me of wearing a muzzle and complying a little, but they know I'll have shit to pay off, and it's not like anybody was there and blah 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 blah. Still, I still get there. Still offer me as much as possible because I'm eating, and that's the gateway out. Eat as much as possible and be outside as much as possible, so you're not caught really wearing a muzzle that often. And that's how you win that.
Yep,
anyways,
just say no.
Yeah. Anyways, since Adamson Barbecue, everybody on set knows who I am, and they knew that before, but then the popularity and the attention rose to a whole new different level right after that, and there was too many extra eyes on me. And there was way too much attention when I got on set for Star Trek. People already knew who I was and heard my comments about sheeple and stuff like that, and knew that I marched around Toronto helping lead the march and things like that.
So you blacklisted yourself because you went too viral with the rebellion and the resistance,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. So next thing you know, these COVID cops, or the Karens I call them, or the health and safety committee, want to pull me off set. 4 minutes on the damn set. They didn't even say action yet. And you try to say, I need you to come with us. I'm like, okay.
Tyranny.
I'm like, shit, I already know what they're gonna say.
Evening, Dina.
Yeah.
Sorry, quickly. These people got some great comments. I know.
Okay, yeah. So
JJ7. Sorry.
They said, due to your beliefs and what you do outside of this, we find it disrespectful that you believe in these things, and we're gonna have to send you home. And I'm like, for what? I did the COVID test and it was always negative. And what I did on Saturday is days ago, nobody's business. Yeah, but is everybody there tested? Blah 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 blah. I'm like, I know many people that are hanging out in parties and things like that, and they're here on set and they still go to set. So how's this any of your business when I basically quarantined just yesterday and did the test just yesterday and the day before, and was at the rally on Saturday, and today's Tuesday. I try to smarten them out, whatever. Anyways, later on, I was on the phone with the health department, told them the situation. They're like, oh, if they feel like you're endangering their health and safety, they could kick you off set. I'm like, huh? So basically, they could just pick and choose whoever the fuck they want to kick off set, and I just hung up on her. And that was it. The rest is history. Told David Menzies was very interested in my story. He's like, hey, you want to get this on camera? Want to do an interview? I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, let's do this. And he tried to get a hold of CBS. Fuck CBS, Mississauga headquarters. They want to give him a follow-up, obviously. And yeah, so I found a new career path, or trying to find a new career path by being more involved in the freedom movement, doing more graphic designings, being Chris Guy's assistant, going on tour across Canada, learning about the rest of the country, learning about how different communities operate with uniting the people together, developing my advertising and promoting and my marketing skills as well. Just finding a new route, because
Mukesh is young. He's got his whole life ahead of him.
Like 40, but like
this whole crap. The end of the world couldn't have happened at the worst time for all of us. Like,
out west is way better than Ontario.
No one is free from the end of the world, no matter our age and aspirations. It's gonna end when God says it ends. So
and that time is like now. Like, now's the time basically to get close with God. Like, real shit. We're in the end game here. Stop wasting time sucking your dick. Stop wasting time with all these video games. Open your damn Bible. Simple as that.
It's not a damn Bible.
I mean, open your lovely Bible. Cut me some slack. I'm new at this. And yeah.
So yes, J7 here. She's in San Diego, she's in California. So she's connected in the industry that you're in, and knows people in the Star Treks and stuff.
Technically, so it's a Star Trek spinoff it's a TV series called Strange New World. So F that show. I don't support it. I don't think anybody else should support it. I don't even like Star Trek to begin with. I'm not into that whole Star Wars, Star Trek, nerdy stuff. No offense. It's that stuff, anyways. I was just trying to get booked, make my money because I'm unionized, anyways. I got a credit, and move on to my business. Yeah, so be a good boy, Mukesh.
So everyone's been commenting. They're talking about Antarctica. Yes, according to NASA and whatever government is giving the information, Antarctica, the continent, has islands named Omicron, Delta, and Corona. So that's ridiculous. It's nonsense. I think someone else said that there's some videos on YouTube talking about ancient aliens in Antarctica. That's probably how they're gonna describe some of the story. They already said that the Nazis ran off to Antarctica, but that's not true, because we'll get into Operation Paperclip, because over 4,000 of them got taken into America and given jobs, right? So that's another video for this series. But yeah, definitely greetings and God bless, Germano.
Saskatchewan is the best part of Canada. I gotta say that.
Greetings and God bless. So yeah, Star Wars is better anyways, huh?
Well, yeah, Star Wars is like, to me, in my eyes, Star Wars looks more cooler. Like, they have all the collaborations with fashion brands and stuff like that. I don't see Star Trek really doing much of that and being successful at it.
Yeah.
I feel like Star Wars is the iPhone and Star Trek is the Android. Plain and simple.
So what they found, and look what they did immediately after they found it. They stayed quiet, they discussed what they needed to do, and they came up with the space agency. And then after Admiral Byrd died, so there was the 3 years, so 57, 58, 59. Eve dies, Admiral Eve Byrd. Then they founded NASA at 58, and then 59 they have Antarctica Treaty, right? So they ban everyone to go there. Then we know what happens. Then we get into the 60s, and the 60s was just wild. So the
Mhm.
40s was crazy. The 50s was wild. The end of the 50s.
I love the 60s,
And
especially.
all through the 60s, we start off with Operation Dominic, Operation Fishbowl, because they sent up all their bombs and explosives to test the dome, see how high it was, see if they could break it. They don't care, right? And then they landed on the moon in 1969. So, and a lot of you, I'm not gonna get into it tonight, but that whole Stanley Kubrick and filming it in a Hollywood basement, we're gonna uncover all of that and see how and why. We're gonna look at the technology they used. We're gonna look at the spacecraft, that little tinfoil duct tape, little microwave looking thing, supposedly withstood all the forces of gravity and the speeds and the cold and the fire and the atmosphere, and went to space and landed on the moon and then brought them home, right? So, and not athletes, by the way. These are like old, frail Masons that are not athletic. You know, Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong were not young, they were not athletes. So you'd think that, hold on, who's calling me? People are calling. So you'd think that to survive something as crazy as sitting in a rocket and traveling at like gazillion miles per hour into outer space and out of this world, you'd need the fittest, youngest, healthiest, athletic people to do it. So we're going to get into NASA and all their deception, how they're all Mason scum, deceiving the world, hiding what they found, hiding what's been given to us through the Word of God in the Holy Bible, the truth. Like I'm going to be able to prove that Eden is real because the military knows it's real, but they're not going to tell you. They're going to hide it. But we have the answers, right? We have all their operations. We have their movements. There's a paper trail, right? So we can see how the devil moves. We have to acknowledge and point out that that's the enemy. Look what they did. None of that makes sense with their thousands of ships and people, and it doesn't make sense. And this is now it's going to make sense when I tell you what they found. If you were working for the devil and then you find the dome and then you find Eden and you have cherubim tell you be gone, you're not welcome here, and you see the flaming sword, yeah, you're going to hide it, you're going to cover it up. So you don't want to so the moon rock is some painted rock also. We're going to get into what the sun and moon is. It's in Genesis also, the two lights for the sky. We're just going to introduction to this whole looking into flat earth and comparing it to what we already know. Trust me, I'm an expert on the globe theory. I know we're the third rock from the sun. I know how 93 million miles away the sun's supposed to be, this giant, enormous, this gigantic ball of fire with solar flares. It's a load of crap. I can't believe I used to believe in it and think I was gonna go on the Starship Enterprise and travel through space, try and find God. No, you don't need to leave this earth to find God. He's already here. He's right up there, and they don't want you to know it. Yeah, you're welcome, Rose Holloway. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and trusting in me and listening to what I have to share and how I see it. What's going on in this world, what we've been given, what's happened, all the information's there. So we're going to look through it together, go through all the Bible verses. The cherubim, God, not the angels. So the archangels are in heaven. We have the angels that fell, which are now the demonic aliens, whatever they are now. And then there's cherubim who remain in Eden with the flaming sword to make sure no man doesn't return. This is wild. That is what's in the North Pole, not Santa Claus and his little elves and his toy workshop. No, it's Eden, right? So again, I'm going to be showing more images over the next few days, showing you all the cities and villages in the world named Eden, all the cities and countries around the North Pole which have Eden in their name, whether you see it or not. I'm going to expose it all. Yeah, it's very good. They're all connected. The fallen angels, Tartaria, the flood. It's all biblical. It's true. It's not a fairy tale. This is what I'm here doing. I'm here bringing the Bible and making sure you all realize that everything that it says that happened really did happen, right? So, and whatever's not in here, because either it wasn't mentioned or they took it out, I'm going to fill it in, right? So, we're going to uncover everything in the Holy Bible and fill it in with what's missing. That's what we're doing. Truth will come to light. Exactly. Bible study and action. So who else? Who wants to talk? Who wants to come on for a bit and discuss and tell me what you feel about this topic, what you've found or seen, whether it comes to the flat Earth or space or the globe, right? So I invite anyone to come and talk with us quickly as we wind down this introduction to the flat Earth. I've shared with you Admiral Byrd, who's a very key player in all of this and everything that led up to the founding, well, everything that led up to his death, and then the founding of NASA, and then the Antarctic Treaty, right? So thank you, Justin. Let's come pass. So yeah, welcome anyone. Let's have a chat. I can't believe it's already the 7th of January.
I
So
know, right?
first-
Time went by fast.
I swear I thought it was like
We
Christmas
better
yesterday.
get our freedom back before my birthday hits.
Yeah. So only points north, because we'll go into what Eden is, because there is maps of it. So there's the 4 little continents of Eden with the rivers going right through, and right in the middle there's the magnetic mountain Mount Meru. So whether the mountain is moving or turning, we know it's magnetic. And we know all the oceans somehow flow into Eden and back out. There's something they're pulling them. That's where the current comes from. So yeah. And that's why directly above Eden is the North Star Polaris, which doesn't move. It's the only star that does not move. And also the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights, is right there, because the kingdom of heaven is right above Eden and the North Star, which is why you get all the green lights right around Eden also, right? Whether there's a city there or not, we don't know, but we know that the cherubim are guarding it and no one's allowed to go there. So why is time going faster biblically? Okay, great question. I want to quickly get into it then. I keep messing this up, but I think it's Matthew 24:22 or 24:24. Matthew 24:24. Because yeah, again, I know that time has changed. And the only way you can understand that time is moving faster is if you understand the true nature of our realm. So Matthew 24:22 says, and except those days should be shortened. There should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So the days are going to be shortened, Sandra.
What do you mean, the wintertime?
The days. So how can the days be shortened, right? If the Bible says, and in those days, so we're talking about the end days, the end game that we're in now.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, it's going to get bad, but for those people, your suffering won't be that long, because those days should be shortened,
You
right?
ever think the Avengers is like somehow connected with the government? I don't know. These movie titles they be dropping sometimes. Like,
It's
remember
all Bible stories.
Remember Avengers Endgame movie? That was 2019. And
the Infinity War was before that.
Infinity War,
the
like,
Infinity
and
8.
then, and this is a war between God and the devil for forever and ever, basically. And Spider-Man just last month, No Way Home. No, before that was Far From Home. You know, stating how they're already getting us like our minds ready that we're gonna be far from home or something to do with that within the next year.
Yeah.
All these 2019 movies, though, was like always showing something about a little hint of 2020 was to come. I picked up on that, some little short clips here and there. Anyways, it was Spider-Man No Way Home that really spoke out to me, because that December 17, around that time, they're really locking shit up big time with these restrictions to make sure that nobody's able to go anywhere, basically. Let's say your home's on the other side of the country, like mine's basically out west. I can't go. There's no way home. with these restrictions and this vaccine mandate BS and whatever. Gucci Mane, what, you think I sound like Gucci Mane or look like him?
Him, you short Gucci Mane as a man?
Or a clone, they said.
No,
But,
probably a clone of a woman, but Gucci Mane is
I love Gucci.
known to have given birth to babies.
I love Gucci though, but I rather Louis Vuitton. But Jenny loves Gucci.
Okay, so yeah, so the time is definitely moving quicker. It's not that our life expectancies are going to be shorter. That already happened because before the flood, our ancestors were living close to 1,000 years, right? Methuselah, our ancestor Methuselah, recorded the oldest living person at 969 years, right? Adam, the first man, lived to 930. Enoch, who walked with God and did not die, so he was possibly the first raptured, lived to 365, and that's how many days we have in our year. So there's Enoch, right? And then it ended with Noah and his children. After the flood, God says you will now live 120 years, right? So instead of the whole full millennium, it was shortened to a century, right? If you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, who's saying something to J7? Everyone leave J7 alone. She's absolutely a beautiful woman. Yep.
J7. Oh, right there.
So heaven and earth shall pass, but my word shall not pass. God will be with us and is with us.
Yo, that reminds me, heaven and earth. Just was it yesterday or the day before this week? I was reading up my Bible studies. And I was reading this lesson where it was talking about heaven. It's nothing to do with, like, I learned that before back in elementary. It's not really like clouds and harps, but I still had that mindset of clouds and harps. But technically, it's a whole city that's like the biggest city ever, and it's in a shape of a perfect square, and walls are made out of gold, and it's like jeweled out, and it's like super mega like rich. I'm like, holy, that's nothing to do with clouds and harps. And then God will be playing a special sound, something like that. So I'm guessing it's the most holy sound like we never heard before. Can't be a trumpet, has to be like something else. I don't know. I was just amazed. I'm waking up big time. I'm waking up more than I did ever in my life. It's crazy. I thought I woke up big time after Adamson barbecue, and then I thought I woke up even more in 2021. But now I'm waking up even more in 2022. It's like double, quadruple, just timesing by 10. The amount of times I'm waking up and realizing more things, especially the Sabbath day, in my opinion. Well, it's facts anyways. The Sabbath day is the seventh day of the week. Obviously, it's Saturday. Duh, not Sunday. Smarten up.
Yeah, in Spanish, Saturday is Sabado. So it sounds just like Sabbath, right? So I want to show this.
It's satanic to do church on Sundays when it's supposed to be Saturdays. That's just, it's the fourth commandment. You're supposed to keep that day, keep the Sabbath day. No, remember the Sabbath day, something like that. And a lot of y'all not remembering it. It's on a Saturday, not a Sunday.
Okay, so I quickly want to bring up this. Look at this. This is Beijing, China. Look at this. This is the New Year celebration. Look at the technology. That's not a firework. That's That's Project Bluebeam.
Is that like drones and stuff?
Look at the images. Look at what's happening. That's like basically think of the CN Tower. So imagine above the CN Tower. Look at the images they're able to put in the sky.
That's lit.
Look at that.
Yeah, what's that building in Dubai? What's that called?
The Byrd Khalifa.
Yeah,
so they've been using.
Tall as that, or?
Yeah, it's one of the tallest buildings in the world. But look,
that is sick.
Look.
Oh, it's like Disney World. When I was at Disney World and this haunted mansion ride, they had what's it called? Holographs, something like that.
Yeah,
dancing holographs of these people. It was so amazing. We already have the technology, but they did it before when they displayed Michael Jackson holographic version performing.
Look, they even got dragons coming around.
It's super expensive though. Like I want to see these things being used more.
No, you're gonna see it. They're gonna fake the alien invasion with it. Look what they could do.
Yeah.
So if you see a spaceship in the sky, you're gonna believe it's real, or you're gonna know that it's fake and it's this technology. Look at this. That's not.
Wow.
They just made it take off like that.
Disney World got some.
How did they do that? It's crazy.
This is China, you said? Where is this?
Look at this is in Beijing. Look,
Oh, yeah.
look at this. This is
Yeah,
on
that's
ground. This is
lit.
their look at that. They can put that in, they can
Yo.
do that now. This is the final deception.
Okay, but they have to do it at night though, because it's very hard to do holograph in daylight.
So like J7 says, my bestie builds all the Disney and DreamWorks parks.
Yo, just so you know, everybody, you
Sam,
don't want to work on a Disney set during this scamdemic. It's like the most satanic,
wow.
stressful, stupidest thing ever.
Coco, move, leave Prince.
Especially the wardrobe ladies, such bitches. Like,
So look, so yeah, Samuel says that clip you showed with the Orca whale hologram in the gym blew your mind. Yeah, there's so much of this technology. They're giving you little hints of it with their New Year's celebrations and stuff. It's real. It's coming. They're ready for the end game, right? So
wow, eh?
again, Project Bluebeam. That's why we have to get through the flat earth quick, because once I can show what I've found and seen, and we can put it all together as a resistance and crusaders with God's army, then we'll be like, wow. And then I'm giving you power right now. Once you get that dome over this flat earth, you think that you're going to buy into aliens and spaceships. No, you're going to know full well it's crap. So if you want Jesus to save you, this is how we're doing it, and giving everyone the confidence and to put on the whole armor of God, right? So we can withstand the wiles of the devil. This is how we're doing it, through the truth. Jesus Christ is the truth, and he gave it to us.
Mhm.
And without the Bible, I wouldn't have been able to understand or know any of this. I'd be so deceived, and we'd all have no chance. Without the Holy Bible, we'd have no chance at all against this evil.
And remember, it's Satan that wants you to think that following God and Jesus is stressful and the worst thing to do in your life. They want you to feel that way. Actually, when you read the Bible every day, you feel joy, you feel love, you feel more awake. It's a healthy feeling. It's not a bad feeling. Trust me. Give it a try. You won't feel stressed out. You'll feel more freedom and relief. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, thank God for the Bible, because without the warnings, these millennium-year-old warnings, what they're doing now, we would have no tool against it. We just all comply. If I didn't have the Bible, I'd know nothing about Mark of the Beast and End of Days. I just, God forbid, I'd fall for it. But thank God and thank for Jesus and the Holy Bible that
So what year-
this is our way out of this madness.
Mhm. So let's tell the viewers out there, what year did King Nico wake up or open his eyes to the subliminal satanic messages? And how did you?
It's been a whole life thing. I can go as far back as 1988. I was just a 3-year-old child, so my whole life has just been very involved with this spirituality, whether it's the good side of God or the bad side with the devil. It's just my life, and my soul has been very important to this force my whole life. So
For me though, it was in the mid 2000s when around that time Umbrella by Rihanna and Jay-Z came out. Under my umbrella, Ella, Ella, yeah, if you know that song.
yeah,
And I realized this video was going viral, the satanic backwards messages in the song. When I hear the song backwards, you hear all these satanic messages, and I'm like, whoa.
yeah, the music today is
got me-
just
yeah.
unlistenable.
So I got into the whole conspiracy theories, subliminal messages, and all that through music. So I was only looking into the music and the music videos. And back then, early 2010s and 2000s, there was so many messages in it right in front of her face. They kind of quiet down a bit lately, but there was a lot more back then, I realized. And I started doing more research, like certain TV shows and things like that, where you could find it, the symbols, all the things that you need to know. And I just kept it personally to myself and didn't tell anybody. And then you kind of think it's kind of cool to do what these stars are doing, and then you end up getting stabbed in the back big time.
That's a good one, Sandra. Look, Bible stands for basic instructions before leaving Earth. Right?
Exactly. Wait, yo, that's lit. It's an acronym? What? Say less.
So like NASA is nothing appears forget the NASA one, but yeah, the Bible one is good. Basic instructions. Yeah, so NASA is never a straight answer.
I gotta
That's
use
it.
that as an Instagram caption. Wow.
So yeah, Admiral Byrd. So what's next coming up? We're gonna look more into the following operations. We're gonna start off with. So we're done with Admiral Byrd. He's served his purpose, his name, his numbers, his date of death, everything. So it was all that. So he was a big part of the North Pole, Eden, the South Pole, which is actually not a pole, the ice ring and the dome, the founding of NASA, and then the Antarctic Treaty came like right after he died, right? So now we have the Antarctic Treaty. Now we have the NASA fake space organization. Now we get into the 60s, right? So we're not going to start that today.
1968. Woo!
Yeah, so it began immediately in the 60s. Yeah, there was the assassination of JFK. So we can get back into his speech, his secret society speech, and his all the presidents are giving us the keys, whether they're presidents or the the kings of the Bible, right? So of Revelation. So look forward to Operation Dominic, and Fishbowl, and then the landing on the moon. So get ready for the next episode. There's going to be a lot, so I'm going to need all you lot's help with all your information on the Stanley Kubrick and the moon landing and the fake moon landing. I have also, if you've seen the interviews right after with the press conference with the supposed astronauts, they never went anywhere. They knew it. You could see it in their demeanor and their body language and how they answered and spoke, because they were lying, right? So we're going to go through everything. We're going to go through the press conference of these astronauts, right?
Astronauts.
Birthday's on Monday. Lacey's birthday's on Monday.
Okay.
Oh, you're a 61. Yeah, my dad's a 61, I believe. Yep. So happy early birthday to you, Lacey.
I'm from 1975.
Yeah, I'm a January baby too. Yeah, you're welcome, Love Butterfly. Very informative. Thanks so much. So again, Admiral Byrd, he has this diary. It's a load of nonsense. It's got some truth, but full of lies, right? So it's always lies mixed with truths, right? So people don't want you to know the truth. They'll like with Tartaria, they don't want you to know the truth. They'll tell you, yeah, there was a mud flood and that there was a secret race that built these buildings. Even though the buildings are covered in angels, they won't talk about it. Thank you, John Levy, for that. So we're going to uncover everything. Because like I said, the way I see it is not the way they're telling us it is, right? So you're welcome, Alina Hart. Thank you for joining us. I hope I didn't see you from the beginning, but you're always here. I'll never stop doing this. Yeah, I won't stop until they take these platforms down, pretty much, right?
And then what's going to happen when they take these platforms down? I remember Vlad said, if they shut off the internet, everyone's supposed to meet up at City Hall.
Yes, Cleo. Yeah, you're welcome, Susie. Yeah, I'm an Aquarius, so we'll get in. That's another topic for another day. The whole age of Aquarius thing. So I'm very tied into this prophecy. You know, not only do I have the blood of Adam, you know, going through my veins, I also am an Aquarius in this supposed age of Aquarius and these end days.
Horoscopes kind of like witchcraft and kind of some.
No, that's like you're thinking of like tarot cards and all that stuff and like doing rituals according to the stars. But no, that the stars are actually in the firmament. They're not like in space, like millions of light years away.
The fortune telling thing is like foolish though. It's like, you know, that's like. What's your opinion on that? The whole psychic readings, things like that. It's like disrespectful to God. It's foolishness. Did you read that in the Bible or no?
Say that again.
The whole psychic readings and fortune telling.
Yeah, you're talking about witchcraft. Yeah, all the nonsense and pharmakia and deception, and it's all in there. It's everything. But again, that's a whole new age topic. I post some memes and stuff, but this whole new age thing is getting out of hand. The people involved with the new age, just their way of thinking, the way of life, the way
It's like
of
the
not caring
modern
to
hippie is what it looks like.
yeah, the modern just weirdos. They don't want to own anything. They're very happy, but they still need to work and just pay rent, and that's it. They don't have any care for in the world for anything. No God. They're just their own gods. They don't need anything, but they need everything. So this whole new age corruption, distorted mindset, and belief system is whack. And I'm experiencing it firsthand. You know me, I like to experience everything because I want to be the guy chosen to stare the devil in the face and be like, get the hell out of here. We know Jesus is going to come and destroy everything, and then God will throw them into the lake of fire. But I want to be up there too. I want to do my part. I want to make sure us crusaders here are resisting and the chosen to help withstand the wiles of the devil, right? This is huge. And it's happening. I cannot believe it's 2022. Have you seen the numbers that I have on my decodes for the year 2022? I've been doing it since 2020. I was like, oh my goodness, 2022. It's all happening, 2022. And here we are, January, the first week of 2022. So yeah, really, it is mind-blowing. It has moon landing stage set on video. It was made 2004. Okay, you're talking about something. Thank you for sharing. I believe it all belongs to God except who influences them. Thank you. Thank you, Kemi. So yeah, Brooks, the New Age movement says we're all getting more and more spiritual. Yeah, right. No, they're corrupt. And then they're the way they look at Christians or Christianity or the Bible or Jesus, they just associate it with religion because they're a part of a religion, because they associate their Gaia and their Mother Earth and their Buddha or Namaste with a religion. So they're like, oh, you speak of the Bible, you speak of God. Oh, that, they just have this distorted perception that, oh, God is loving and forgiving. So whenever I show that I'm a warrior and I'm ready to fight and show how angry I can get and roar like a lion, people tell me, oh, the New Agers tell me that's not godlike. I'm like, what? Godlike? Since when did God love and forgive? If he was a loving, forgiving God, Adam and Eve would still be in Eden, fornicating and doing whatever they want, right? That's not how it works.
Basically, modern Jesus sucks. Biblical Jesus rules.
God bless. Love, Butterfly.
I'm trying to find that.
Yeah, checking in the comments. We're ending this now, so I'm just gonna say goodbyes now. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Can we go right back on that whole modern Jesus thing? So we know modern Jesus preaches only on love. Biblical Jesus preaches God's righteousness. Modern Jesus gives you health and wealth. But biblical Jesus gives salvation, hope, and peace, and joy. Modern Jesus never says anything negative like these weak ass lefties. Biblical Jesus warns of sin, judgment, and hell. Modern Jesus loved and accepted by world. Biblical Jesus is hated and despised by the world. Modern Jesus serves their will, not God's will. Biblical Jesus exalts God, the Father's will. Modern Jesus hates to offend you or others. Biblical Jesus offends the world with the truth. Basically, this modern Jesus is just Satan in disguise.
Exactly. Thank you, Mukesh. See, that's the best thing he said.
Biblical Jesus is basically saying the same thing I'm telling you. Grow some balls.
There's two Jesuses. The New Age is getting confused with the one he just described. This fake Jesus, and then the biblical Jesus. It's two different Jesuses.
Jesus.
See?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting criticized and ridiculed for being negative, for spreading truth. And they're like, oh, that's too doomsday. That's not godlike. Jesus spreads love and forgiveness. I'm like, no, he doesn't. You even just read what, he warns of sin and going to hell, right?
It's like this whole weak, softy, lefty attitude is the reason why we're in this mess. Plain and simple. If everybody just grew some balls, sprinkle some water in your crotch, grow that ball, just say no and do some united non-compliance and love each other, we'd be out of here.
Thank you, J7. Have a good night and a great awakening.
And if you like what you see, remember to hit the like button, hit that bell.
You're welcome.
Share and comment down below. Well, you're already commenting anyways. Hit that subscribe button. And if you like,
Yeah,
keep up
share
with me,
it.
if you want to keep up with me, you can follow me on Instagram at Mukesh _MUKESH . It's the same thing on TikTok as well. I don't know about Facebook because I'm locked out right now. And
You're welcome, Lacey.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I'll be back soon, very soon. Not tomorrow, the day after. You're welcome, Sandra. Always, always. This whole operation thing and Antarctica, we're going to expose it like never before. You're welcome, Island Boy. Much love to you.
Island Boy?
Yes.
Island Boy.
The truth will set us free. The truth is Jesus Christ in the Bible, not this church Jesus, but the biblical Jesus. There's two. I'm not with the church. I don't want anyone here to be with the church either. So yeah, thank you, Justin Campbell. Oh yeah, see, Jeremiah was called the Doomsday Prophet or Doom and Gloomer. I'm getting the same thing. Thank you so much. Frankie Atwood, hello. Fake Jesus is coming at the 6th trump. Seal and vile Satan himself. Yes, it is. You're welcome, true soldier of Christ. Thank you for the truth that you've produced tonight. You're welcome. You're welcome, King of
You
Kings.
guys could also join my Telegram channel, Mukesh Freedom. Again, MUKESH Freedom. It's plain and simple. t.me/Mukesh Freedom. Keep up with the latest buzz. And I encourage everybody. I know across Canada we're doing this thing tomorrow where we're all protesting at our local global news stations or CBCs, things like that. So everybody else that's not in Canada that's watching, I encourage you, organize a rally real quick, get people at those TV stations, and wake up the people there. Yeah, because it's the media that's also controlling this BS and pushing fear into you. Even though when I go on social media and I see all these posts about, oh, the vaccine, you got to take a 3rd shot, guys, blah 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 blah, and these are mainstream media's social platforms. Look at the comment section. It looks like a lot of people, like 95% of people there, are awake and against it, but they're still encouraging to keep pushing this narrative, even though they could clearly see the people are against it. However, I've been noticing on some posts these days they're starting to block the comment section, so you can't say anything, you can't see anything. They make their post and that's it. And just yesterday on Instagram, I noticed a whole post about getting the COVID-19 booster shot, but there is no COVID-19 link attached to it.
Shush, stop saying COVID.
Oh.
But yeah, we're gonna end this video. You're excited to talk. I know, Mukesh, it's been a while, but we'll get you a spot and get you speaking. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll come on and do another live. But this one's dedicated to Admiral Byrd and his missing diary. Yeah. And we're saying goodbye. It's just gone over the 2 hours. Justin saying thank you, learned a few things. We're just getting started. So if you learned something from this, that's great because there's way more information coming. So we're just getting into this, right? So this was the introduction, and what a way to introduce it with a missing diary from a man named Evelyn, right? Middle name Evelyn, sorry, it's Richard Evelyn Byrd. So it's Dick Eve Byrd, pretty much, right? If you want to put it that way, it's very blasphemous, right? So that's why they sent him. So thank you, everyone. It's awesome to see you all again in 2022. I'll be here, of course. All along the way, we're about to see some crazy things, so stay tuned. I appreciate you all for returning and for subscribing and expressing your love and sharing all your truth. I just appreciate it. This is why I keep doing it. And I'm probably going to go live on Facebook right now or Instagram. So make sure you join up on Facebook. We're going to make some more tea, talk about some more things. And yeah, I'm going to end this. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Hannah's been here from before we even started.
Young, if my children turn out like him, I do proud. Remember to be. Yo, I'm not young, I'm old, but in that.
The youngin', you're young.
It's MUK, but thank you though.
You're a man, but you're young. Still got much to learn. So
everybody else,
you're in a good place. He's in the resistance headquarters. So, we let everyone find their way. He's got his own Bible. I'm not pushing. I'm not a Bible pusher. I'm not with the whip there saying, read it. He does it by himself, right? So God bless everyone. I'll see you soon on Facebook. I love you all. Peace out.